closing techniques. As we have seen in the earlier sessions, that closing is a very, very important step in the entire selling process. And for effective closing, you need to know some of the top closing techniques which you can keep in your armor and use it in the appropriate situation to get the end result that you want for every call. Some of the top closing techniques are the weighing close, order book close, relationship close, Colombo close or doorknob close, and the puppy dog close. Now let us deep dive into each of them and try to understand them, and then subsequently, after knowing it, practice it and then master it. In the weighing close, it is basically a process by which the reason which causes hesitation is outweighed by the reason favoring the buying. That means what? There's always some pluses, some minuses as far as the customer is thinking. Customer may say that no, your price is too high or your delivery time is too low. So this and that, if you has got such objections, what you need to do is take a piece of paper, draw a line in the center and write down all the pluses of your proposal as well as some of the negatives according to the customer on the other side. And in this weighing close, consciously ensure that number of pluses out of your proposal far outweighs the number of minuses that the customer may have told you. So at the end of that close, if you say there are 7 things which is in favor and only 1 or 2 things which is according to you negative. So using this weighing scale type of technique, then you can ask for the customer to give you the order. So this is the first one. Second one is called the order book close. In this case, after you have given him some of those solution burgers, feature, advantage, benefit, which is as per the prioritized need of the customer, you then tell, as you have appreciated these benefits, can we go for the order? And what you do is you take your order book, physical order book, write it down, and at the end of it, put a mark down and ask him to sign. And many times you would see, it's according to the customer psychology. If the customer has really liked all the benefits which you have enumerated and enlisted to him, and you have taken his concurrence, because you have prepared the order and it is in front of him, you would invariably go and sign it. This is like giving him the last push for him to break his hesitation or the inertia for taking the final order, which is ultimately is going to be beneficial for both of you. So order book close is that final nudge which you give by printing your order book and placing it in front of him with all the details and asking him to sign. The third one is the relationship close. Here it is more on the rapport, the relationship which you have established. This needs to be done from the heart, genuinely. You need to express deep desire to initiate a relationship with the prospect or to continue the relationship that you already have established. You set a win-win premise and ask their support to make it happen. And you need to express that they are buying, trusting you, and you will not let them down. This is about, telling them that, for friends, I know many of us have this hesitation about how much value you will get it, but you give them the personal assurance from your side, ensuring that they can trust you. When you use such statements, remember, every human being is an emotional being, and selling is an emotional contact game. And also remember, most prospects take decisions emotionally and then justify it logically. So using all these premises, you can use the relationship close with the appropriate statements and give the final nudge for him to take your product. The fourth one, friends, is a very powerful technique called the Colombo Close. It may happen that sometimes you may have a customer who is a little bit resistant to your proposal. This is to be done after all the conversations are done, and is also called as a doorknob technique. This close you use especially for customer who has not been very open in his communication and who has been listening to you, agreeing and appreciating some of the points, but still not giving a final commitment and is still holding on to something which is not opening up. Maybe an objection or maybe something which is there in his mind, but in spite of you probing him, he is still not coming up. In this case, what you do is you show as if you are closing it down, you close your bag, you get up from your seat, walk towards the door of his cabin, and at the door, suddenly you flip out and say, "Sir, I just forgot to tell you one thing. What is it, that one point which is stopping you from finalizing the deal today? Well, normally what happens as a human psychology, the moment he sees you getting up, he is relieved. He feels that he doesn't have to now make any commitment. So he lets down his guard. But when you walk about 5 steps towards the knob and when you turn around and ask him, suddenly as his guard is down, he may come out with his real objection. And once the real objection comes out of him, then you can sit down and answer it and thereby convince him to give you the order for a win-win proposition. So this is the Colombo Close, using the technique to open it up when his guard is down. The last one is called the puppy dog close. But this is based upon making the customer experience and get used to your product and services. As the name suggests, puppy dog, this is normally sold by kennels who are selling dogs. Whenever a parent along with a child comes to them to look for dogs, normally the salesman there tells them to take the dog, keep with them for about 2-3 days, and in case if they don't find it appropriate, he will always take it back. Generally what happens when a puppy dog goes home, initially the excitement is with the child, but subsequently it so happens that the parents get used to it, and once they get emotionally attached, then they never get it back to the kennel and they keep it for good. This has been used by many companies. It has been used quite effectively by companies to ensure that the customer gets a feel of this particular product, and thereby Toyota used it very effectively, especially to launch their luxury brand of car, of Lexus, in the US market, which is already crowded. What they told the prospective clients is to come, leave their old car, take their new Lexus, drive for a month and come back. And if in case they don't find it good, they said they will exchange their new car with the old one which they had left back. And it was seen that this puppy dog close technique used by Toyota enabled Lexus to get an entry into this very, very crowded and a competitive market and establish it as one of the fast-selling luxury brand. So friends, this is what is the detail about the 5 techniques of closing, namely the weighing close, order book close, relationship close, Colombo close or doorknob close, and the puppy dog close, which I promise you can be practiced by you, because ultimately knowing is not doing, doing is doing. You need to practice it with your clients, and slow by slow I'm sure you'll be able to master them and use them effectively to close the call and to break the inertia, hesitancy which many human beings have naturally because of their old experiences, and thereby ensure that you are able to become more powerful sales commando.